I remember the day like it was yesterday. The sun was shining and there was a sense of excitement in the air. A tiny ball of fur, all paws and teeth, came barreling into my life. His boundless energy was immediately apparent. He was a German Shepherd puppy, barely bigger than my shoe. Yet his presence was already larger than life. Don't let the size fool you. This little guy had a spirit that was impossible to ignore. This little guy, who I'd soon call Champ, had the energy of a hurricane and the appetite of a growing bear. Every meal was an event, and every playtime was an adventure. Champ's introduction to my pack was a sight to behold. The older dogs were curious yet cautious. My older dogs, seasoned veterans of many a playful spat, looked on with a mixture of amusement and bewilderment. They had seen many puppies, but none quite like Champ. Champ, oblivious to their seniority, charged headfirst into the fray. His enthusiasm was infectious. It was a whirlwind of wagging tails, playful nips, and the occasional yelp of surprise. The backyard became a playground of joy and chaos. From that moment on, I knew. Champ was here to stay, and he was going to change our lives forever. Life with Champ was never going to be dull. Every day brought new surprises and endless laughter. He was a force of nature, a furry tornado of love, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. His antics kept us on our toes, and his affection warmed our hearts. Little did I know, this was just the beginning of countless adventures, each more hilarious and heartwarming than the last. With Champ by my side, every day was a new chapter in our story. Every German Shepherd owner knows the telltale signs: the sudden burst of energy, the wild eyes, and the frantic dash that can only mean one thing: the zoomies have arrived. It's a sight to behold, a whirlwind of fur and joy. It's like witnessing a miniature earthquake, except this earthquake has 4 legs and a wagging tail. The energy is palpable and the excitement is contagious. One minute, Champ would be napping peacefully, a picture of canine serenity, his chest rising and falling in a steady rhythm, eyes closed in blissful slumber. The next, he'd be a blur of motion, circling the coffee table at warp speed, his paws barely touching the ground, moving with the grace and speed of a seasoned athlete. The furniture would tremble, the curtains would sway, and I'd find myself dodging him with the grace of a seasoned matador. It was a dance, a chaotic yet beautiful dance of life, but amidst the chaos, there was a strange sort of beauty, a symphony of movement and sound, a celebration of life in its purest form. It was the unadulterated joy of being a dog, the sheer exuberance of life, the way his eyes sparkled, the way his tail wagged with unrestrained happiness. And as quickly as it began, it would end. The whirlwind would slow, the energy would dissipate, and calm would return. Champ would collapse in a heap, panting happily, leaving me to marvel at the sheer athleticism of it all. His eyes would close and he'd drift back into peaceful slumber, ready to do it all over again. Raising a German Shepherd puppy is an exercise in patience, a crash course in the art of forgiving chewed furniture and muddy paw prints on freshly cleaned floors. Champ, with his boundless energy and insatiable curiosity, tested the limits of my patience on a daily basis. There was the time he turned my living room into a demolition site using my favorite pair of slippers as chew toys. And who could forget the incident involving a roll of toilet paper and a hallway that resembled a winter wonderland? But through it all, I learned to see the humor in the chaos. I discovered that a well-timed no and a firm yet gentle correction were far more effective than anger. And slowly but surely Champ learned the rules of the house, well, most of them anyway. Fetch the quintessential dog game, a timeless classic, or so I thought. Champ, however, had other ideas. He approached fetch with the enthusiasm of a seasoned athlete but the attention span of a goldfish. He'd rocket after the ball, a furry missile homing in on its target. But then, something strange would happen. He'd reach the ball, sniff it with disdain, and then wander off. Sometimes he'd chase butterflies, other times he'd simply lie down and bask in the sun. It was as if he'd decided that fetching the ball was beneath him, that there were far more interesting things to do in the vast expanse of our backyard. And you know what? He was probably right. Section 5. The Case of the Missing Sock and Other Mysteries. They say dogs are man's best friend, but sometimes they can also be your most perplexing roommate. Champ, with his penchant for mischief, had a knack for turning everyday objects into missing treasures. Socks were his favorite target. One minute they'd be neatly paired in the laundry basket, the next they'd vanish without a trace. I'd find them in the backyard, under the sofa, even inside my shoes. It was like living with a furry detective, constantly trying to solve the case of the disappearing belongings. But through it all, I couldn't stay mad for long. His guilty expression, those puppy dog eyes, were enough to melt even the coldest of hearts. Section 6. The unwavering gaze, a shepherd's silent language. German shepherds have a way of looking at you that pierces right through your soul. It's an unwavering gaze, full of intelligence, loyalty, and an uncanny ability to sense your every emotion. Champ's gaze was no different. Whether I was feeling happy, sad, or stressed, he just knew. He'd rest his head on my lap, offering silent comfort and unconditional love. In those moments, words were unnecessary. His eyes spoke volumes, conveying a depth of understanding that transcended language. It was a reminder that sometimes the most powerful connections are forged in silence, in the shared language of love, loyalty, and mutual respect. Section 7. Guard Dog Chronicles, Adventures in Protecting the Realm, aka the Backyard. German Shepherds are natural protectors, bred for their courage and unwavering loyalty. Champ, despite his goofy nature, took his role as guardian of the realm, our backyard, very seriously. Every squirrel that dared to venture near our bird feeder, every bird that landed on our fence, was met with a ferocious bark and a display of mock aggression that would have sent chills down the spines of even the bravest woodland creatures. Of course, his bark was far worse than his bite. In reality, Champ wouldn't hurt a fly, but his antics provided endless entertainment and a constant reminder that our home was safe under his watchful eye, or at least he liked to think so. Section 8. Bath time battles and the art of surrender. If there was one thing Champ dreaded more than anything in the world, it was bath time. The mere mention of the word bath was enough to send him scurrying under the bed, tail between his legs. Getting him into the tub was a Herculean task, a comedy of errors involving slippery paws, desperate attempts at escape, and enough splashing water to rival a water park. And once he was in, the real fun began. He'd shake his fur violently, sending soapy water flying in all directions. He'd try to climb the walls of the tub, as if scaling Mount Everest, but eventually, he'd resign himself to his fate, accepting his bath with a look of utter defeat. Section 9. From clumsy paws to graceful strides. Witnessing the transformation. Watching a German Shepherd puppy grow is like witnessing a magical transformation. One day they're stumbling over their own paws, the next they're running with the grace and agility of a seasoned athlete. Champ's transformation was nothing short of remarkable. He went from a clumsy, uncoordinated ball of fur to a sleek, powerful dog seemingly overnight. His walks became less about stumbling and more about effortless strides. His puppy fat melted away, replaced by lean muscle. But through it all, one thing remained constant: the sparkle in his eyes, the unwavering loyalty in his gaze. Section 10. The Heart of a Shepherd. Loyalty beyond measure. They say that a dog is a man's best friend, but a German Shepherd takes that bond to a whole other level. Their loyalty is legendary, their devotion unwavering. And Champ was no exception. He was my shadow, my constant companion. He followed me everywhere, his tail wagging furiously, his eyes filled with adoration. He was there for me through thick and thin, offering silent comfort and unconditional love. He was more than just a pet, he was a member of my family, a furry soulmate who had stolen my heart. Section 11. A Bond Unbreakable. Reflections on a Journey Shared. As I watch Champ now, his muzzle flecked with gray, his gait a little slower than it used to be, each step a testament to the years we've spent together, I can't help but feel a surge of gratitude. Gratitude for the countless memories we've created. He has enriched my life in countless ways, from the playful moments to the quiet, reflective ones, teaching me the true meaning of loyalty, companionship, and unconditional love. His presence has been a constant source of comfort. Raising a German Shepherd is an adventure, a roller coaster of emotions. It's filled with joy, challenges, and unforgettable experiences. It's about embracing the chaos, the laughter, the muddy paw prints, and the chewed furniture. These moments, though sometimes frustrating, are the essence of our journey. It's about forging a bond that transcends words, a bond that grows stronger with each passing day, a connection that touches the very core of your being. It's a relationship built on trust, mutual respect, and endless love. And as I look into Champ's eyes, I see a reflection of our shared journey, the highs and lows, the laughter and tears. I know that our journey together is far from over. There are still many adventures to be had, many more memories to create, for in the tapestry of life, the bond between a human and their German Shepherd is a thread that can never be broken. It's a bond that weaves through every moment, every experience, and it is this bond that makes our journey together so incredibly special and unforgettable.